¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome to the Thursday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Thursday. Welcome, everybody. Cosmic Seeking, Coomer, please. How's it going? I hope you guys are doing fine. I'm pleased that Ukraine is taking over in Kherson. Well, they're not taking over anything. It's they're land, so to speak. Howdy. Welcome, welcome. Okay. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay? Hello? Do you know any programs to print out posters for environmental change stuff? No, usually what I would do is either just kind of make your own, but this is like the protest, I guess aspect of it. Are you going to like a protest? I'm just wanting to put some kind of food waste poster in my school cafeteria. That's pretty cool. Loud and clear. Okay, that's perfect. Then I would say just print out something, bringing attention to the climate crisis. I mean, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. A couple of updates. Lauren Boebert seems to be fighting for her seat at the moment. It looks very, very close, and it is possible that she may actually win. So I may have to eat my own words on that one. I thought that was a pretty done deal. That does not seem to be the case. As it currently stands, she is ahead by just about 700-ish. She's ahead by 700-ish votes. 98% reporting. There are still more votes coming in with that race, but it looks like she might actually win. Which is pretty scary. Pretty scary. The military votes might be why she wins. How's it going, SV Harkin? Also, I guess to balance this out, Kari Lake, the election denier extremist, kind of crazy. I got evicted and my landlord is harassing me. Jesus. Yikes. That's wild. I'm sorry to hear that, friend. Kari Lake, the election denier conspiracy theorist, in good news, she seems to be down about 20 something thousand votes, so that's good. We've got a couple of videos and a couple of headlines, and I think we should get started. For the folks who are in Florida, please be careful. Try tropical storm or Hurricane Nicole has already created significant problems in the state of Florida. Parts of the southwest coast also got a double whammy while they're still recovering from Hurricane Ian. Before we get started, a quick shout out to Cult of Eyes, Ginger Sani for the offline follows. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's get some videos going. I think we should start with this one.
Good evening. No question about it. While we don't have the final results yet, yesterday's midterm elections turned out far better than people had expected, and you made that happen. Thank you. First, let me give a shout out to all those who came out and voted. Voter turnout was high, especially in some battleground states like Pennsylvania.
True.
Without that kind of citizen participation and voter turnout, John Fetterman would not have been elected to the U.S. Senate.
True.
Further, on a personal note, let me thank the over 14,000 people who attended the 19 rallies that we recently held in Oregon, California, Nevada, Texas, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. Turnout was great, and the energy level was high. Let me especially thank the young people who overwhelmingly came out to vote.
True.
Not just for women's rights and gay rights and environmental justice and to protect our
Surfer
democracy,
McGrady, how's it going?
but who also understand that we must have an economy and a government that works for all of us, not just the 1%. While the turnout among young people is still not as high as we would like, there is no doubt that young people
The kids are
played
right.
a
True.
decisive role in this election. Young voters in Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Arizona supported Democrats by over 70%, landslide proportions, and played a decisive role in electing senators, members of Congress, governors, and members of the legislature. If there's anything that gives me hope about the future of our country, it is that our younger generation is the most progressive generation in history. This is a generation that has fought racism, sexism, homophobia, xenophobia, and bigotry of all kinds. In America and throughout the world, young people have also been leaders in the fight against climate change and the need to take on the greed and irresponsibility of the
True.
fossil fuel industry.
The cope from the right
God
wing,
knows that there
watching
are
the
a
cope
lot
from the
of
Republicans has been
important
amazing.
issues out
Yes,
there.
it has given me
The
life.
issue of women's right to control their own body, the issue of the attacks on the very foundation of our democracy by right-wing extremists, the issue of gun safety, and many others. But at a time of massive wealth and income inequality, let me also thank working class voters and union voters for standing up against corporate greed and voting for candidates who have the guts to stand up to the moneyed and powerful interests. I was happy to see that in the last few weeks of this campaign, many candidates made it clear that they were prepared to take on Republicans who want to give huge tax breaks to the wealthiest people in our country and then cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And I thank all of those candidates who raised that very, very important set of issues. Let me also mention that last night was a great night for progressive candidates.
True.
Despite the huge amount of money spent by billionaires and their super PACs against us in support of right-wing politicians, there will now be more strong progressives in the U.S. House than ever before in modern history. Let me just name a few of them. Let me take this opportunity to congratulate Summer Lee, on her resounding, strong
Nice.
victory in Pennsylvania's 12th district. Summer ran a great grassroots campaign and withstood an onslaught of outside money from billionaires.
Thanks for the shout out.
She
No
will be a
problem.
great congresswoman
Footage of
from
Bernie from the
Pittsburgh
90s?
for
No,
the
this is
working
from
families of our country.
today.
Congratulations also to Becca Balint on her historic win. Becca will be the first woman ever elected from my own state of Vermont to the U.S. Congress, and I look forward to working with her on behalf of Vermont's families. Texas, thank you very much for sending Greg Kazar to the U.S. Congress. I know Greg well enough to know that he will be a great leader in Congress, and I want to congratulate him on his great victory.
Or maybe it was just shot vertically,
to
dude.
Jasmine Crockett on her victory last night in the 30th District of Texas. Jasmine will be a much-needed voice for voting rights and for an economy that represents the needs.
Interesting he decided to name all those points, to say all those things instead of one specific cause. What do you mean by that? Meaning, like, what resulted in turnout for voters, or?
Of working families in Texas and throughout our country. I also want to congratulate Jonathan Jackson, an old friend of mine, on his victory in the 1st District of Illinois. Jonathan understands the need for racial justice in this country and for the need to create an economy that works for all.
Well, I think
Congratulations
mostly
to
the
Delia
video is
Ramirez
just shot
on her
vertically.
win last night. She has been a champion of working families and immigrants in Illinois, and I know that she will continue her fight for them in Congress. Congratulations to Val Hoyle on her win in Oregon last night. Val knows what it means to stand up for working people and fight for raising the minimum wage, passing paid sick and medical leave, and for workers' rights. And I very much look forward to working with Val in Washington. And
Yeah,
last
I'm
but
not.
least, congratulations to Maxwell Frost.
Yeah, I'm not understanding though. Like, yeah, there's a lot of progressive causes. Why would there be one like specific one? That I don't. Maybe I misunderstood you.
On his historic victory in Florida's 10th district.
Yes.
Maxwell will be the first member
Yes.
of Gen Z elected to Congress, and I want to congratulate him on his historic victory. Now, I would not be telling you the truth if I told you that we won everything last night. We certainly did not. Some excellent progressive candidates lost, and we are still not sure at this moment whether Democrats will be controlling the Senate and even possibly the House. But no matter what happens in that regard, tonight I am asking you to please stay engaged. Please continue fighting for justice, economic justice, social justice, racial justice, and environmental justice. Last night, 58% of the electorate in the red state of Nebraska voted to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour. With your help, we can and must do the same thing in Washington for every worker in America. Raise the minimum wage to a living wage. Last night, a majority in the red state of Missouri voted yes to legalize marijuana. With your help, we can and must legalize marijuana in every state in our country. Last night, a majority in the red states of Kentucky and Montana joined the red state of Kansas in voting against ballot initiatives to ban abortion.
Nice. And
With
tied to
your
inflation.
help,
True.
We will codify Roe v. Wade and make abortion legal in every state in America. Last night, we beat back some very dark forces,
True.
and you made that happen. That's what happens when people.
True. Let me take a second to kind of address that. Before the election, as things were, I guess, about to get into gear, I was just speaking from an analysis point of view. I found it something that stood out. I was just saying that it's interesting he directly addressed many causes instead of indirectly addressing the audience. Well, I think he's doing both, right? Or am I just missing something? He's both addressing the audience, which is us, thanking everybody who came out, and specifically thanking Gen Z for coming out, specifically naming the progressive candidates that won, while also talking about like the issues that are important to him and to everybody that believes that this is the right way to go. I think that something that is incredibly important to acknowledge is how close and how fragile things are here. That at any given point, there are many fail points here. Our system is not very democratic, and our system is incredibly fragile, as we saw, and we've been not just lucky, but we've managed to rally and really take some wind out of the sails of fascism, of theocratic Christian fascism, or theofascism, as I've heard it be called. And it's a bit of a relief. It's a bit of a relief. He mentioned the issues important to each candidate, and his knowledge is amazing. Oh yeah, no, this guy knows, and this guy knows what he's talking about, like, and who he's talking to. He knows, especially with this message of staying engaged, right? Because he knows. He knows. Even people in Boebert's district voting against fascism. True. Yeah. She's hanging on by this very, very thin margin at this time, and even her win is not guaranteed. Even her win is not guaranteed. Yet.
People stand up and fight back. But needless to say, the struggle is far, far from over.
True.
There is an enormous amount of work yet to be done. Let's do it together, and thank you all for what you're doing. Take care.
Based Bernie Sanders. That's the opposite, or do I isolate and feel like no one around me cares? Well, I get that. But I would argue and I get that feeling, especially living in like Trump land, and coming from Florida. Yeah. But nonetheless, I feel like you kind of just push through that feeling and do what you gotta do, with whatever tools that you have available, within the time that you have available. That's it. That's all you can do, really, at the end of the day. Even if it feels like nobody else cares, that just means that if nobody else cares, maybe you should. Especially if you do. It makes your little voice that much more important, right? If nobody else around you cares, but you care, that makes you that much more important. If that makes sense. Let's
But Trump's
let's do some memes, yeah?
sitting on a massive war chest in Mar-a-Lago. Where'd that money go? We don't know.
If the voters conclude that you're putting your own ego or your own grudges ahead of what's good for the country, they're going to look elsewhere.
Right-wing media is now beginning to turn on Donald Trump following the disappointing result that Republicans had in the midterms. So I'm going to go over some incredible clips showcasing both before the result and also many clips after the result and where they are putting the blame.
This is what gives me
they
life.
think some of the solutions are. Starting with here, let's just watch this incredible
They've been turning on Trump bit by bit for a little while now. True, but this is just gold.
Before the result in the midterms.
Be an analyst for a second. Does it feel like a red wave?
It feels like a red wave, Brian.
You know, your predictions of a red wave are accurate.
Somebody made a surfboard and said the red wave is coming.
Red wave rising.
That red wave that I'm convinced is coming.
The reports I'm seeing show a big red wave coming.
Sleepy Joe just guaranteed a red wave in Pennsylvania.
There's a lot of energy on the ground. You probably hear the rally in the background right now. We think we're going to have a big red wave in Michigan.
Wow.
Democrats are bracing for the worst case scenario, a red tsunami.
We are officially on a red tsunami watch.
Sean, we're going to see a red tsunami.
Red tsunami grows. That means...
Definitely notable that Fox is doing it now, though. True. It's the only thing I would say is that be careful of assuming the motivations of people who voted. I mean, you could make an argument that people voted against fascism, but there's evidence of it. Maybe less so. Definitely looks like they voted for women's rights. Concerns over the economy and concern over democracy was there, but it was evenly split between both parties. Yeah, no, I'm saying that I'm saying that wasn't their motivation. I'm saying that was the end result. I'm saying that was effectively what happened. Effectively what we did, whether or not the electorate was thinking about it, or whether or not it was a concern of them or not, when it came down to the polls, or when it came down to actually casting the ballot, whether or not that was their actual motivation, or if they even were thinking about it, it makes no difference to me. I was just saying that the end result, as a product of it, we managed, especially from seeing it from the point of view of people, of someone who has done this for a while now, I would say about, what's 2008 till now, that I've been like super engaged in politics, just under 30 years or whatever. I'm not going to do the math, but, I see what was happening, and I took this like from a bird's eye view and said, okay, great. We took the sales out of this 14 years. Yeah, there you go. We kind of took the wind out of the sails of that movement, and I think that it's a good thing. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's because the electorate, the people voting, that's what they were consciously doing or why they voted for the way they voted. I'm just saying that it's a product of it. Lots of eggs on their face. Yep. Most voters barely know what it is. That's true. What did happen was a little pee-pee trickle. True. Very true.
Red tsunami.
We're not just going to see a red wave, we're going to see a red tsunami.
Poverty, joblessness, critical race theory, crazy gender ideology in our schools. We are going to see a red tsunami.
And lastly, your prediction for tonight.
I think we're going to have a red wave. I think it's going to be maybe bigger than anyone thought.
On Tuesday,
bigger than anyone
we will
thought.
be part of a big red wave that says enough is enough.
Up next, Elon Musk ready to ride the big red wave.
Elon Musk tweeted massive red wave.
Massive red wave.
Oh man, that's just chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Now we move on to the most important election of our lifetime, 2024, followed by the next important election of our lifetime, 2026, 2 years after for the next midterms, and then of course the most important election of our lifetime in 2028, to be followed by the next most important election of our lifetime in 2030. The next sociopathic would-be dictator will have a magnitude-less cult following. That's a good thing. This is the first time in an off year that Dems actually did good. I mean, that's rare. Also, don't forget that there are elections next year too. True. Yeah, like as much of like that's a meme. Like, yeah, obviously if you can go and vote. And don't forget the runoff in December next month. if you are in the state of Georgia, to make sure, you know, Herschel Walker doesn't get in the Senate, because that's not good. So yeah, if the tool's there, don't leave it on the ground, is what I'm saying. If you've got a tool, use it.
Massive red wave.
Massive red wave.
You're about to see a red wave that makes day after tomorrow look like nothing.
Hold on. 1 second. With that Ben Shapiro clip. Just Meanwhile, 1 week after acquiring Twitter, Musk went out and told everybody it's a platform to vote Republican. How the F is that legal? It shouldn't be, honestly. It really shouldn't be. I would have lots of questions as to the legality of that, although probably, for some weird loophole and whatnot, it's probably technically, I don't know, it shouldn't be. Because like these people complain about like the way social media interferes with elections and whatnot, and like a multi-hundred billionaire decides to purchase a massive platform and is like, yeah, dude, you should go vote this way or that way. That's just wild to me. Yeah, don't look up, Dave. Yes, and if you can, phone bank for Warnock. True. Ben's been having some interesting takes lately. He's been a reasonable conservative, which is nutty to say. True. I mean, maybe this is just like the embarrassment deciding to seep in and provide a brevity of lucid takes, maybe. Maybe we get a brief moment of Ben seeing the light for a moment. Alio with the 10 biddies. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Red Velvet Cup. Maybe it's because he lost Steve Bannon to feed him lines. Maybe. Anyways, let's continue the memes, because this is what I live off of for the rest of this is what I'm living off for the rest of the week.
That's going to be responsible for the red wave. I think the red wave that's coming is going to be like the elevator doors opening up in The Shining.
Rogan said that the red wave is going to look like the elevator doors opening and the blood pouring out of the elevator in The Shining.
Like the elevator doors opening up in The Shining.
That is correct, except it's not going to be an elevator. It's going to look more like Deep Impact, the tsunami at the end, but colored red.
Remember that Taya Leone Deep Impact disaster movie? That's the red wave tsunami that'll come ashore.
It's going to be a brutal week for the Democrats beginning on Tuesday.
And frankly, I've already DVR'd CNN and MSNBC for election night, not because I'm going to watch, but just because I want to enjoy the tears post-red tsunami.
Now I'm having this life crisis, so this election is uplifting for me. That's good. I'm sorry you're going through that, my friend. It was kind of like that. The scene was a vision, not real. True. More like Freddy killing Glenn and Johnny Depp sequence. Good evening, a difficult shirt. What? My shirt? No, not this. Yeah, this is just Trump fleecing more. The con man's got a con. You have slightly heavier clothes. Do I? I don't know. I'm wearing a t-shirt. Or like... This t-shirt is very old. This t-shirt is actually from my non-biological brother. This t-shirt has been with me since probably maybe even more than definitely more than a decade, possibly closer to 2 decades, almost 20 years probably. Welcome. Yeah, so Donald Trump is trying to get money from his sheep, which will just go to his own committees. I don't know if this is much of a scandal. This is more like par for the course, right? This is just Donald Trump conning. I just see you wearing fleece more often. Really? I might have to. It's gonna get very cold next week, so you might see me dressed more. Although I am wearing warm sweatpants. Right now, the current temperature is about mid 60s. So I'm wearing sweatpants, which are very warm, so I'm good. How cold is very cold to you? To me, I think like 30s is pretty cold. 30s. Looking forward to the difficult parka. I need to make one like that. Although my store doesn't have that option. My store does not have that option. Hold on. Florida's getting to the 30s. No, I'm not in Florida. I used to live in Florida. And then I decided, well, actually, I didn't decide anything. The rent decided that it was going to kick me out because I can't afford it anymore. That's basically it. That's basically how I got here. So you gave up your place for Aquaman? True. Aquaman is moving into the apartment that I used to have. These are the wintry kind of clothes that I have. I've got one of these. I've got a beanie. I've got one of these like packable jackets, but that's for like rain. I don't have a hoodie, although I should have a hoodie. I should get one of these. I've got this one. And I've got this mug. That's about as wintry as you'll get. I need a stream in muscle shirts. Oh, I need to get one of those then, if that's the case. What is this? Yeah, I don't know if Ron DeSantis, I don't know if Ron DeSantis is going to throw his hat in the ring. All of this is like pointless speculation until Trump announces, right? Until Trump announces or doesn't announce. Because then we could start, making guesses as to who's going to pick up the ticket then. Because if Trump announces, more than likely, he will be the nominee. Like, I'm almost certain he would be the nominee. But who knows? Anyways. Let's continue back with the memes. Putin would have DeSantis for lunch, and so would most of the EU leaders. True. Trump would be the perfect VP. No, Trump is not going to be VP. Trump is going to be the nominee or not at all. That's the kind of personality that we're dealing with. Trump may form another election committee. Sure, he might. I don't know how that's going to fare for him, but you know. As long as he splits the Republican vote, and as long as he has more infighting within the Republican Party, then that's a good thing. I can see him going independent instead of none at all. No, I don't think he even would go independent. I mean, maybe. In which case, that's great. Because he's going to effectively torpedo any GOP chance in the presidency, if that's the case. If that's his move, which I don't see that happening. I do not see that happening at all. But if it was the case that Donald Trump decides that, or the GOP decides that he's not going to run under the GOP banner, and I don't know, his ego gets the best of him or whatnot, and he decides to run independent, that is the best scenario we could be looking at, but I don't see it happening. I just don't. He doesn't need to, since he owns the GOP narrative. Yeah. That's a very good point. And Trump's legal troubles are not gone. Yeah. I don't think he'd run independent either, but he would shit talk the nominee so much. I kind of want to see it. Me too. He's got the ego for it and figured he can make a ton of money from campaigning. Yep. But I don't know. Either way, like, I don't see him going independent. And if he does, then that's a good thing. If he does, that's a good thing. That's a very good thing, because then he'll just torpedo whoever the GOP nominee is gonna be in 2024. Then he'll torpedo that campaign. So more power to him. Jesus Christ!
What happened to the red wave, Congresswoman?
Oh no!
Oh man!
Oh no!
Look, before I even get to the reaction after the midterms,
hold, I got the perfect soundbite for that one. If you are in media, I got the perfect soundbite for that. It's called the Sarah Palin set up the PAC to consider running and then just pocket the money. True. I think the Republican Party has largely moved on from him, but not his policies. But I do love the split and the infighting, and it's amazing. Yeah, I think they really haven't. I think that the majority of, like, the Republican, maybe not the party, but like the base, right? Largely the base of the Republican Party. If there was a Trump run or Trump nomination, they would vote for him. And I think that's largely the only reason the Republican Party decided to play ball with him, and now have been essentially eaten alive by him. And I think that maybe in a good case scenario, this ends up being their undoing. In the best case scenario. The base is solidly attached to his posterior. True. Yeah. The establishment, like, you know, the Mitch McConnells of the party. Yeah. I completely understand. The Mitch McConnells of the party. I mean, like, make no mistake, like, the Republican Party absolutely loves his policies. They all voted majority with him, overwhelmingly.
And you have a big platform like Fox News telling your viewers that there's going to be a red wave. Doesn't that kind of encourage them to then stay home and not bother go out and vote, because they figure, oh, well, we're going to win anyways. Why should I bother going out to vote?
No.
I just don't.
No, listen, never interrupt your opponent when they're making a mistake, okay? It's okay. It's okay.
See how strategically it makes much sense for them. Except, of course, you know, for the eyeballs, for the ad revenue, which I guess is what that's all about. But I don't know. But just also worth mentioning, this is as the results were beginning to come in, Donald Trump Jr. a little prematurely tweeted out bloodbath, and apparently didn't tweet.
Jesus.
I'm not sure if he's tweeted since, but I know it was at least 24 hours before he tweeted again. So just ridiculous. Now, let's get to the reactions after the results in the midterms.
Yes.
Great supercut put together by Kat Abu, and this is just hilarious.
I can't believe John Fetterman won.
This is, in fact, bad for the Democrats. They're going to misread this. It's like, oh, we won.
Joe Biden was not punished.
This morning, had there been a big red wave, everybody would be going, blame Joe Biden. Can't say that now.
You can't say that
I
right
can't
now.
say
Still
that.
a win for pro-lifers.
This new generation is totally brainwashed.
When we just owned the libs, we didn't win those races.
Oh man, no, this I live. This is what I live for. This is what I live for. Please. Please. I just added probably another year to my life thanks to this. I don't know what that means, my friend.
This is not a surprise. We knew it would be extremely tight.
Forget the red wave, the red tide, whatever it was. It
The
doesn't
red
matter
tide.
at this point.
They're always going to spin things against us.
Single women and voters under 40 have been captured by Democrats.
Damn.
So we need these ladies to get married.
Oh my, what? Is that really what his solution to that is? Yes, it's these uppity it's these uppity young single women that have been captured by the Dems. And then immediately proceeds to make the comment, they need to be married. And then proceed to be like, yes, that is the solution to the problem we're having here. Clearly we've lost like the young single women, so we're gonna do our best here, and then we're gonna tell them that the reason why this happened is because they're not married. What? Yeah, that's the takeaway from this. Yes, the lesson here is that they need to marry. Okay, don't you know that women are only good as wives and making babies? That's it. True. The Glenn Beck monologue was creepy. Glenn Beck is creepy. That's right. You got to get them barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen. You can't have them thinking about voting or anything, or any sense of agency or autonomy, or treat them like people. You can't do that. That's just not the way. That's just not the Republican way. It really isn't. Got to get them barefoot, pregnant, and away from the polls. Jesus Christ, dude, really? Like, they just let that happen on air for like millions of people to see. Yeah, okay. Sure. Whatever, dude.
All right. Maybe the
Jesse Waters is just a piece of shit. Fuck that guy.
Advice that I've seen from
No, David Dole. David, my friend. My brother in Christ. No. Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. It is good that this is what they're saying out loud. Anyway, the worst of it. No. Let them trust me. Never Mr. Dole, Mr. David Dole, my brother in Christ. Never interrupt your enemy when they're making a mistake. Let it be.
You'll see. They get to putting the blame on someone in a second here. But Trump. This is Trump before the results of the midterms. This is one of my favorite quotes. I may even put it on the soundboard because it's so perfect. But this encapsulates how Trump operates and his thinking going into the midterms.
You've endorsed more than 330 candidates this election cycle. Tonight, win or lose, the results for Republicans, how much of that will be because of Donald Trump?
Well, I think if they win, I should get all the credit. And if they lose, I should not be blamed at all. Okay.
Wait. How does that work? how does that work? Okay. Trump has megalomania. It's a disorder. Yeah, I mean, clearly. Yeah, but he's not just a kingmaker. It's if things go wrong, it's not my fault either, right? Like, what? Okay, dude. Sure. If things go right, then, you know, of course. It kind of gives away, like, how Republicans think, right? Because they do this shit too with, well, I guess, like, both political parties do some of this to a degree, right? But if Joe Biden is in power, then it's like Democrats, you know, causing inflation, and they're the ones that are overspending and whatever. But when Republicans are in power, then tax breaks are okay and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. Yeah, Dr. Oz failing is Melania's fault. That's right. I heard a rumor. Is there any truth to that story that Trump was trying to blame Melania for Dr. Oz's loss? All the credit and none of the blame. The Dems do it all the time. Yeah. Well, that's very true.
Come on. No one else could get away with this. Can you imagine Joe Biden saying this? Well, if Democrats win tonight, then I should get all the credit. And if they lose, then I shouldn't get blamed at all. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Nancy Pelosi. Can you imagine any Democratic politician saying this?
It was in the New York Times,
Trump,
but I don't know.
Because of the character he is, he gets away with saying the most ridiculous shit. And you could argue he's saying, you know, this is tongue-in-cheek, but you know he's being serious. Like, this is how he operates. So even if it's tongue-in-cheek, this is how he thinks. This is how he has his cult of supporters.
Right.
So this is where we get to the real introspection. All right? Let's start with Laura Ingraham on Fox News. Very interesting comments here, considering she has been a fairly large Trump supporter up until this point.
The president and the speaker did a great job with this election.
Going into 2024, the Republicans are going to be looking for candidates who are focused on winning, not just making a point or settling a score. So to really change the country, we're going to have to win, and we have to win over voters outside our traditional base. That means young people, too.
No shit.
That's got to be the goal for the next presidential election. The populist
but that's not going to happen with your ideology.
It is not about any one person. If the voters conclude that you're putting your own ego or your own grudges ahead of what's good for the country, they're going to look elsewhere.
Yeah, and this is like what I interpret. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I interpret as like a sideswipe or a sideswipe jab at Trump, basically.
At what point has the right-wing populist movement, fake populism, has it ever been about ideas?
It's not.
What ideas did Trump have that he implemented? What he was president for 4 years. It was tax cuts for the rich. What ideas? He lied about healthcare. He lied about doing things. But there were no actual real ideas. It was always about Trump. It was always about him as a personality. So for that, like, for Laura Ingraham to claim it was about something else is just wrong. Is just lying.
The idea
but
is
here
is
clearly she is
libs
pitting blame on Donald Trump.
Feel
clearly she is talking about how this shouldn't
way.
be about one man, one ego. This is obviously criticizing Donald Trump here. Now, the thing, right-wing media has been criticizing Trump forever. Before he gets power, before he wins. So, you know, before in 2016. They were all criticizing him. Fox News was criticizing Trump until he won the nomination. Then all of a sudden, massive change of heart. Same thing with recent losses. You know, of people that Trump has endorsed. They put the blame on him, and then all of a sudden they turn around because they realize that their entire base is still with Donald Trump. And if they keep criticizing him, they are very likely going to lose their audience. So I don't know if this time it's going to hold up because of these results in the midterms, but I would be surprised. I think you know, in a month or so, this will all be forgotten. Trump's still going to have as much support as ever. But I could be wrong. This may be the final straw. But I don't know.
I don't think so.
Listen, folks, if we lose in Georgia,
point here from Kurt Bardella saying from the party that is trying to use the courts to stop student loan debt forgiveness on the point that...
That's too funny. Remember when Trump said everyone would have health care and the government would provide it to anyone who didn't have insurance? Yeah. Remember we were supposed to have Trump care, and Trump care was coming. It was coming any moment now. No one ever asked him about that after he was elected. Yep, that's true. That's true. Trump care never happened. It was supposed to be the best health care that ever existed. Never happened.
Laura Ingram wants the GOP to go after young voters. You're not going to go after young voters by being bigoted, by being anti-student loan debt cancellation, by not doing anything to actually help people. So young voters lean a lot more on the left. There is no way that the GOP will be able to capture more of them. It's just about getting more of their voters out to vote. But there is a limit on that. Now let's look at Jesse Waters here. So here's his reaction to these results.
This early voting thing, Republicans have to get a handle on. We show up on Election Day, and Democrats show up weeks before Election Day, day after day after day.
That's not... Well, first of all, whose problem is that? And second of all, that is not a, reason to eliminate early voting. It's just amazing that someone could be president of the United States and still not be treated as a serious person. Oh, I treat him very seriously because I think he's dangerous. But that's neither here nor there. That's not how the media treats him. And how, other people treat him.
What's the Republican strategy on early voting? I don't know. Do you?
The right has been criticizing early voting as somehow, stuffing the ballot box or somehow rigged in some way. Of course, Trump, all about, can't trust the mail-in ballots. So this is clearly a rebuke of Trump's line about early voting, mail-in balloting. But also, he goes on here.
McConnell spent close to $400 million on these Senate candidates. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but that is a lot of money. And we didn't pick up a single seat. So either some of these candidates are garbage or the money's not being well spent.
Or both. Both of these things can be true. As soon as Trump held his first rally as president, I knew that he was a fascist dictator wannabe. Oh yeah, 100%. That guy rang way too many alarm bells. That guy checked off way too many boxes. In fact, I made several videos warning about this shit way back then. Videos titled like Trump's fascist rallies continue and whatnot. Because they really do give that old, Weimar into the 30s Germany vibe. That's what I got. Until recently, Republicans voted early at the same rate as Democrats. Yep, nothing to do with early voting. It's just that, well, their candidates are dog shit. But the media wouldn't even say he was lying. Yeah, that's the frustrating part. That's the frustrating part. I did a video in 2019 about how Trump threatens the very fabric of democracy. I don't think I knew you then. Probably not. Wow. Huh. There's a lot of old videos. Anyways. Yeah, I saw the writing on the wall when this guy came into power. I actually had a negative initial impression. You rated Active-E and said some trolls came on the raid and made me think you were an edgelord. No, I had to vehemently apologize to Julia, or at least like I tried to, because when I originally started streaming, obviously, you know, as with everything, you get trolls and you don't know how to deal with them, and they end up in other people's channels because, you know, you're not fast enough or you didn't have a mod or whatever. Now I am Master Troll Slayer. Master Troll Slayer.
But Trump's sitting on a massive war chest in Mar-a-Lago. Where'd that money go? We don't know.
Here we go. A clear shot at Donald Trump.
Nice. Love it. Even if you ban them, they come along on a raid, don't they? I don't think so, right? Don't they? Don't they just get, like, yeeted out of your channel? Or does it, like, automatically count, like, do they automatically stay there? I've actually never been banned on a channel. I've actually never been banned on a channel, so I don't know what it looks like. I've come to face the Troll Master Slayer. True. Make sure to pick up the map. How's it going, Walter? Make sure to pick up the mana crystals the trolls drop once slain. True. I think they just can't chat in the channel. Okay, but they still stay in the channel as a viewer. Maybe there was nothing I could do anyways. I was under the impression that if I ban... I'm not sure either. I'm gonna be honest. I've never been banned on a channel. So... I think that... Well, I was under the impression that you get yeeted off the channel and you can't chat. I'm banned in IRIs. I got banned within 3 minutes when TYT raided him. Jesus. How does that look? Can you actually see the stream? Are you allowed to like interact, or I don't know. Obviously, you're not going to be allowed to chat, but when you, I mean, there's no way to test this, right? Unless you are banned in a channel and then just happen to catch that channel as they're raiding somebody else. Do you go like along with it? I don't know. I'm honestly not sure either. The simulacra. I hang out in James's channel too. James from the internet, when he also used to do stuff for Act.tv. So yeah, I've seen them like around since a while now. So yeah, I know it was one of those things where I'm a small channel, and you know, you got some trolls. It happens. Not anymore though. I know how to deal with them.
And it's true. He has all this money that he gets from his supporters. None of it is going to these candidates. It's amazing that they have held on to him this long, but it's only because their viewers are holding on to Trump. Because based on what Trump has actually done for the party, very little. I mean, yes, you could say 2016, of course, that was, you know, the big wave they had. But since then, he is just sucked up all the air, all the money. It's all about him. It's absolutely hurt them in many races. All of the major election deniers, at least as of recording this, all of the major election deniers lost their races.
Good.
So people that were completely aligned with Trump and all that bullshit, they lost their races. The most extreme Republicans lost.
Good. That was another like concern. There was hundreds of election deniers across the country that were running for some office or another, whether it be representative, secretary of state, governorship. That was a big concern. That was a big concern for me. I can't tell IRI has gone to verified accounts. Jesus. Well, I think I have verified, meaning like you have your phone number and all that stuff attached. I think mine is. I think I have to because I'm a streamer.
At least in, you know, the races that were winnable for Democrats. So for them to hang on to him this long, I mean, I guess we'll see if this continues again, but I would be surprised considering their viewers, their voters are still aligned with Trump. Now let's check out Tucker. So he's, I would say, a little less direct here, a little more vague, but here are his comments.
So what happened? Well, before we give you our theories as to what happened, one obvious point: the people whose job it was to win but did not win should go do something else now. We're speaking specifically of the Republican leadership of the House and the Senate and of the RNC. There's nothing personal. Some of them are no doubt nice people, but they took hundreds of millions of dollars to paint the map red, and they didn't. Doesn't mean they're evil. It doesn't mean they should be jailed. It does mean they shouldn't be promoted. No one should ever be rewarded for failure. If there's a truly conservative principle in life, it's the principle of the meritocracy. You reward excellence. You do not reward mediocrity. And when you do things fall
But you
apart,
don't even do that, though. That's not what actually conservatives do, though. Wasn't that the whole point of the Stop the Steal? Was to subvert the election that he obviously lost, but still wanted to win anyways. He wanted to will a win into existence. That's like exactly the opposite of what Tucker's talking about. Conservatives actually don't care about that. That's too funny that he would mention. Yeah, winners only. True.
So he doesn't appear to be going after Trump just yet, but he is blaming Republican leadership here. And a couple more clips here from Fox News. This is Jeanine Pirro and them realizing, hey, maybe we're not fighting for issues that are popular.
I think what is really disturbing, though, is the fact that most of the country thinks we're headed in the wrong direction.
75%.
75, some said 80%. Mm-hmm. And yet so many people voted on issues that weren't the issues we thought they were voting on. We thought it was all about the economy, inflation, and crime. But as Jessica, I'm sure, will say, it was a lot about abortion. It was a lot about the threat to democracy. And even in spite of that, I think Republicans did very well. And I think Kevin McCarthy is to be saluted for, a mission that he's been on for many years.
So mixed messaging there, comparing Tucker to Shapiro. Tucker obviously thinks, based on what we just saw, that McCarthy should not be in that position of leader. Shapiro thinks differently and is, coming to the realization here that abortion and the threat to democracy played a much bigger role in the vote than they were letting on, than they were pushing in their press for the past month or so. Now, here's the former RNC communications director. Here are his thoughts, and again, very clear where the blame is being put here.
Up first to you, Karl Rove writes today, Wall Street Journal, a number of pieces in the Journal editorial page talking about Donald Trump, talking about the results. Here's Rove's take. With no red wave, Trump is out at sea. The GOP fielded too many novices who struggled with crafting a message, raising funds, and waging effective campaigns. Some were also knuckleheads with strange beliefs and closets full of problems. Many of these remarkably weak candidates came courtesy of Donald Trump.
Strange beliefs. Election denial and extremist Republicans. Strange beliefs.
Who did not vet his endorsements. You agree with that point?
Yes. And, we could go back to 2010 and 2012, where we saw a lot of these terrible first-time candidates that caused Senate races to fall by the wayside in Nevada, Delaware, Indiana, Missouri. This is why Mitch McConnell was warning well in advance that we have a candidate quality problem. But what we've seen is a real intensification of this problem from top to bottom, not just Senate candidates, but House candidates, Secretary of State candidates, and governors
Trump's
and the
the
like.
one that's,
and it's what I call the
party.
mypillization of the
That's
Republican
a you problem.
Party.
That's a you
We've
problem.
attracted these more cartoon characters, and if somebody speaking at a rally with a president or a presidential candidate is best known as a pillow salesman, run to high heaven because you're going.
But the problem is here, they're not just cartoon characters, right? They're not just cartoon characters. And as much as it is funny, to think about it that way, it's not. These people are incredibly dangerous. These people have very, very extremist authoritarian views. And despite looking like a clown show, which they are still not to be underestimated. I'm just saying. My pillow is white.
Going to see more of these cartoon characters who are trying to make money off of the party, become Instagram influencers and celebrities more than they are about being serious legislators. There's a reason Madison Cawthorn lost his primary in North Carolina. He telegraphed and said clearly, I'm not serious.
How about that? Another direct shot at Donald Trump. So again, this is just in the aftermath of the midterms. The real indication of if this is going to be, a sustained attack is if we're going to see it become a sustained attack. So if they're going to keep actually attacking.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the tone of the right wing media becomes if Trump decides to announce. We'll be seeing the shift. Or not. Who knows? I tried to get a candidate exposed by my newspaper tip line for being banned from a women's college for taking photos of skirts in cafeteria where he didn't go or work, and they are investigating. Damn. Wow. That's incredibly creepy on that candidate's part. That's what a gross human being.
Trump continually
good on you,
and
by the
propping
way.
up DeSantis over him. So I think for a bit they are going to try to do that and try to move their audience.
They're gonna
but if
pump
they
up
start
Santa
seeing
in Florida.
the numbers drop.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they could try, but if Trump runs, that's it. It's Trump. Whether or not these GOP people, and I mean GOP by the party, like it or not, he does control a significant swing of the GOP base. And if Trump runs, it don't matter. He's most likely going to be the nominee. He ran for Secretary of State and lost, and I ran for State Auditor, and I can't stand to look and see if he won. Ugh. Well, good on you for trying to expose him.
In viewership, then they're just going to go back to the same line of
yeah,
kissing
about
Trump's
30%.
ass. And also worth mentioning, it isn't just Fox News. It's all of media here, all of right-wing media. Here's Candace Owens. Her quote is, "What I am saying is that Trump needs to take a good look in the mirror, and he needs to exercise a tiny bit more humility when he gets something wrong." So this is Daily Wire, further right-wing media, then Fox News, and also criticizing Trump here. Ben Shapiro.
It's one of America's top
newspapers. Trump picked bad candidates.
I hope
spent
they
almost no money on his hand-picked candidates.
I hope they do.
And then proceeded to crap
Good
on
on
the
you,
Republicans
SB
who
Harkin.
lost and didn't sufficiently bend the knee. This will have 2024 impact. Ben Shapiro, big conservative voice, also attacking Donald Trump. But one person, as far as I've seen, is defending Trump. And of course, she is related to Donald Trump. Here's Lara Trump on Fox News.
We need to change course, and we need to do it quickly. So I think if there's ever a time people are ready for Donald Trump to come back, it could be right now. We'll see what happens on Tuesday.
We need to change course, so let's bring back Donald Trump. He never left. He's been here the entire time. How can you possibly claim that, his absence was the reason that the Republicans lost? Ridiculous. But it is wonderful to see this inner fight going on right now. I do think, putting on my right-wing politics hat here, if I was going to be a strategist for them, which I would never, but if I were, it's clear. Yes, they have to move on from Trump, try to bring on Ron DeSantis, but the issue they're going to run into is the base.
Right.
Is the base going to continue hanging on to Donald Trump?
Right, which is my argument. The plastic surgery, which is exactly my argument. The base is going to be for Trump. And if Trump runs, then that's who's most likely going to be the nominee. And hopefully, if that's the case, I would wager that Trump loses. Trump would lose, in my opinion. Echo Wrestle Dragon, how's it going?
I think a lot of it will depend on the media that they are consuming. And if that media, if it's Fox News, if that media is telling them something different now. So if there is a, universal message here from places like Fox and Daily Wire and even further crazier right-wing media, places like, Newsmax and all their garbage, if they all turn on Trump at once, then I do think that can have an impact, and you could potentially see the shift move towards DeSantis. But if there's still going to be pockets of media that is backing Trump in a big way, then it's going to be hard to turn these voters onto someone new.
I can't take the stress. Jeez. Well, I agree. I agree. And just to kind of piggyback off that, New York Post targets Trumpty Dumpty in scathing cover. Trumpty Dumpty. The memes continue. Folks, before we get into this article, if you guys have a second, and if you haven't already done so, head on over to the YouTube channel, click the big red subscribe button. It really does help us out. Rupert Murdoch's conservative media empire helped propel Trump's remarkable rise from tabloid-friendly New York real estate mogul and reality show star to the presidency. But in wake of disappointing results for the Republican Party in Tuesday's midterms, Murdoch-owned media outlets, the New York Post, Fox News, Wall Street Journal, are all blaming Trump for the GOP's lackluster performance and appear ready to move on from the former president. I don't know if they're going to move on. I don't know if that's necessarily true. On its front page, Wednesday, the New York Post anointed Governor DeSantis the future of the GOP. Fresh aim at Trump, depicting him as Trumpty Dumpty. This is comic gold. Trump is the Republican Party's biggest loser, the Wall Street declared in a blistering editorial on Wednesday evening. He has now flopped in 2018, 2020, 2021, and 2022. What will Democrats do when Trump isn't around to lose elections? What? They're going to win elections. What are you talking about? Sure. Ron DeSantis is the new Republican Party leader. Nah. After the Florida governor secured a resounding re-election victory ahead of his looming decision whether to run for president in 2024. The biggest winner of the midterm elections without a doubt was Governor DeSantis. The biggest loser, Donald Trump. The attacks from Murdoch's formerly Trump-friendly media outlets come as key races will determine control of Congress remain too close to call. But whatever the outcome, the so-called red wave that many Republicans were expecting failed to materialize. I'll be advising him that he move his announcement until after the Georgia runoff, said former Trump advisor Jason Miller. Georgia needs to focus on focus of every Republican in the country right now. It doesn't matter. I think Raphael Warnock is going to win the runoff here. If I see the name Trumpy Dumpy on the ballot, I might vote. There we go. That's the spirit. If it makes you feel better when you go vote next time, just imagine that's what's there. Okay. If that's what gets you to if that's what motivates you to get to vote. Trump is reportedly fuming, or another way of saying it, big mad over losses by some of his endorsed candidates, including Dr. Oz, who ate shit and lost to Democrat John Fetterman. Almost every one of these Trump-endorsed candidates you see in competitive races has lost. And I think that's basically the meat and potatoes that we are going to get from this article. That's just to kind of piggyback off the other stuff. Massive copium. And it seems to me like most people on the right are either outwardly or inadvertently, or not outwardly, but like in a sideways kind of view, in a sideways point of view, just taking shots at Trump. So direct or indirectly, they are basically blaming Trump for the most part. The great and powerful Oz ain't a whiz. True. Thankfully. I'm seeing clickbait that Trump will announce. I think it'll be a committee, but Trump does whatever. Yeah, I don't think he's going to I don't think he's going to announce right now. There we go. Next week is when he's set to announce. Who knows? In more good news, Alex Jones ordered to pay $473 million more to Sandy Hook families. InfoWars host and conspiracy theorist, far-right conspiracy theorist Alex Jones and his company were ordered by a judge on Thursday today to pay an extra $473 million. Hopefully he starts selling a whole bunch of Alpha Brain to his conspiracy to his followers for promoting false conspiracy theories about the Sandy Hook school massacre, bringing the total judgment against him to a staggering filed by the victims' families to a staggering $1.44 billion. Yeah, he can still raise money, but not but now has to account for it until he announces. Yeah. Connecticut Judge Barbara Bellis imposed the punitive damage on InfoWars host and, quote, free speech systems. Jones repeatedly told his millions of followers that the massacre that killed the 20 first graders and 6 educators was staged by crisis actors to enact, quote, more gun control. The record clearly supports the plaintiff's argument that the defendant's conduct was intentional, malicious, and certain to cause harm by virtue of their infrastructure, ability to spread content, and massive audience, including the Info Warriors, the judge wrote in a 45-page ruling. Christopher Mate, a lawyer for the Sandy Hook families, said he hopes the award sends a message to conspiracy theorists who profit from lies. Good. This is exactly good. The court recognized the intentional, malicious, and heinous conduct of Mr. Jones and his business entities. On his show on Thursday, Jones called the award ridiculous and a joke, and he said he has little money to pay the damages, yet continues to have his show. Well, of course I'm laughing at it. It'd be like if you send me a bill for $1 billion in the mail. Oh man, we got you. It's all for psychological effect. It's all the Wizard of Oz. They know full well that the bankruptcy that's going on and all the rest of it, that it'll show what I've got, and that's it. I've almost nothing. That's okay. You'll continue to owe that money for the rest of your life. That'll always be over your head. And if that's true, if you have almost nothing, then where are you getting all of this money to continue to run your programs, to continue to produce your programs? Right, which is exactly what I'm getting at, Esme Harkin. Where, how are you making your show? Oh, do you own those studios and that equipment? That sounds like you've got assets, my friend. Eight victims' relatives and FBI agents testified against a month-long trial by being threatened and harassed for years by people who deny the shooting happened. Strangers showed up at some of their homes and confronted some of them in public. People hurled abusive comments at them on social media and in emails, and some received death and rape threats. Jesus. 6 jurors ordered Jones to pay $965 million to compensate the 15 plaintiffs for defamation, infliction of emotional distress, and violation of Connecticut's Unfair Trade Practices Act. Jones, who lives and works in Austin, Texas, has bashed the trial as unfair, an assault on free speech rights, which it's not. He says he will appeal the verdicts, also doesn't have the money to pay such huge verdicts because he has less than $2 million to his name, which contradicted the testimony at a similar trial in Texas. Free Speech Systems, meanwhile, is seeking bankruptcy protection. Not only that, like, how are you paying your lawyers? How are you paying your lawyers? How are you going to appeal if you have no money? I expect his house is more than $2 million. There you go. There's $2 million. Jones said on Thursday he only has a couple $100,000 in his savings account. That's okay. That's just your savings account. What about the checking account, buddy? Jones's lawyer, Norm Pattis, wrote in a text to the Associated Press to paraphrase Karl Marx, the verdict was a tragedy. What? What does this have to do with Karl Marx? This latest ruling is a farce. It makes our work on appeal that much easier. Sure, buddy. His ex-wife said he's a deadbeat dad for their kid. Not surprised. Bellis found Jones and InfoWars parent company liable for damages without a trial last year as a consequence for what she called his repeated failures to turn over any financial documents or any other records to the plaintiffs. After the unusual default ruling, the jury was tasked only with deciding the amount of compensatory damage, whether punitive damages were warranted. Jones said that he turned over thousands of documents and the default ruling deprived him of his rights to present a defense against the lawsuit. Well, you didn't show up, dude. The fuck? The punitive damage includes $323 million for plaintiff's attorney fees and costs, and $150 million for violations of the Unfair Trade Practices Act. In Connecticut, the punitive damages for defamation and infliction of emotional distress are generally limited to plaintiff's legal fees. The Sandy Hook plaintiff lawyers are to get 1/3 of the $965 million in compensatory damage under a retainer agreement. But there's no cap on punitive damage for violations of the Unfair Trade Practices Act. The plaintiffs had not asked for a specific amount of punitive damages, but under one hypothetical calculation, they said that damages could be about $2.7 trillion under the law. That would have been that would have been just perfect. Can you imagine 2.75 trillion. Jeez. In a similar trial in Texas, in August, Jones was ordered to pay nearly $50 million to the parents of another child killed in the Sandy Hook shooting for calling the massacre a hoax. A forensic economist testified during the trial that Jones and Free Speech Systems had combined net worth of as high as $270 million. There you go. Jones hawks nutritional supplements, survival gear, and other products on his show, which airs on InfoWars website and dozens of radio stations. Wow. Evidence at the Connecticut trial show his sales spiked around the time when he talked about the Sandy Hook shooting, leading plaintiffs' lawyers to say that he was profiting off the tragedy. In documents recently filed in Free Speech Systems' bankruptcy case in Texas, a budget for the company in October 29 to November 25th estimated product sales would total $2.5 million, while operating expenses would be about $740,000. Jones's salary was listed at $20,000 every 2 weeks. Wow. Can you imagine $40,000 a month? Making a salary of $40,000 a month? On Wednesday, Bellis, the Connecticut judge, ordered Jones to not move any of his assets out of the country as the family seek to attach his holdings to secure money for the damages. Jones, meanwhile, has asked the judge to order a new trial or at least reduce the compensatory damages to a nominal amount. A third and final trial over Jones's hoax claims is expected to begin at the end of the year in Texas. Jesus, this guy's just getting hit all over the place. Good. As in Connecticut, Jones was found liable for damages without trials in both Texas cases because he failed to turn over many records to the plaintiffs. Good. I hope this guy just ends up getting sued out of existence, really. That's probably the best case scenario that could happen here, is that he just gets sued out of existence. This is the ultimate swear jar. This is the ultimate, like, do not, propagate conspiracy theories about a school shooting to your millions and millions of people and expect there not to be consequences, Jar. 473 million more. And that's and there's another trial later on this year. This dude's done. This dude seems pretty done. At least I hope so. At least I hope so. Well. If it isn't the consequences of one's actions. You are free to say whatever you want. Within reason. But there are consequences. There are consequences. Someone else needs to bring a case against the supplement claims to end that income stream. That would be just, that would be the icing on the cake, right? If they can find a way to like bring like consumer protection lawsuit or some stuff like that. If like, I don't know, they can definitively prove with beyond a reasonable doubt or whatever it is, whatever the burden of proof is, that these supplements are actually bad or actually causing harm or something. To end that would be just, that would be the cherry on top. His claims are wild. Massachusetts voters approve a millionaire tax. What does it mean for the wealthy? If you make more than $1 million a year in Massachusetts, you may soon be subject to a millionaire tax approved by voters this week through a ballot initiative. Turns out when you give people the chance, or I should say choice, when you give people the choice, taxing the rich is very popular when you give them the choice. The new law creates a 4% tax on annual income above $1 million on top of the state's current 5% flat income tax, aiming to fund public education, roads and bridges, and public transportation. It's expected to be its expected levy will affect roughly 0.6% of Massachusetts households, according to an analysis from the Center of the State Policy Analysis at Tufts University. Democrats have been working for a long time to add some tax brackets and progressivity to the system, said Richard Auxier, a senior policy associate at the Urban Booking Tax Policy, pointing to the current 5% flat income tax regardless of earning. That's just wild. Flat income taxes doesn't make any sense. The Little Proletariat rating, welcome everybody. Boston has like 10% millionaires. Sheesh. I'm from Massachusetts. I'm expecting people to leave soon. Yeesh. Welcome, folks. Folks. If you don't know who I am, and you have not seen this channel before, I am A Difficult Truth. I do the news, I do the politics, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. If you guys end up enjoying the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. Join us on the YouTubes. Click the big red subscribe button. And feel free to hang out and chat. I appreciate it. I think I got one person. It's not much, but it's honest work. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. However, California voters rejected a similar tax aiming to pay for zero-emission vehicle programs in wildfire response and prevention. The measure would have added 1.75 levy on annual income of more than $2 million in addition to the state's top income tax rate of 13.3%. It's very state-specific, Auxier said, explaining how the tax ballot initiative may hinge on funding priorities, the current state tax structure, and other factors. Sheesh. Does not apply to me unless I hit the lottery. True. Nice, but it's not going to help anyone afford a place to live here. No, I don't suspect it would. Unfortunately. While the measure was just approved earlier this week, many wealthy residents were already discussing the impact with advisors. It's certainly been on the minds of folks, said Jim Guarino, a certified a CPA, a manager and managing director of Baker Newman Noyes in Woburn, Massachusetts. He said client discussions began once this initiative was advanced. The new tax is estimated to bring in roughly $1.3 billion in revenue during the fiscal year of 2023, according to the Tufts analysis. But Guarino expects lower numbers due to tax spending and in some cases leakage from higher earners moving out of state. The Informed will now work more with their advisors and look for ways to minimize or avoid the surtax. Like, dude, really? Really? You people are millionaires and you're already like looking for ways of getting out of a 4% tax? 4% tax. And that's just on annual income above $1 million. Unreal. For example, someone may consider stretching income over a period of years rather than one big hit that bumps them over the $1 million threshold in 2023. Unfreaking real. In other cases, they may try to receive some of next year's earnings in 2022 before this law goes into effect. If you can defer taxable income, that's usually a good thing. A good system, folks. Good system. But in this instance, accelerating income may give you an immediate 4% tax saving at the state level. I think we're going to be busy over the next 6 or 7 weeks to see how we can scam our way out of this 4%. Good memes. Good memes. What, Republicans? Well, no, it applies to anyone who's wealthy, right? Anyone who has over $1 million. Chris Kobach, voter fraud crusader, wins the Kansas Attorney General race. This sucks. Republican Chris Kobach has won the race to serve as Kansas Attorney General with 90% of the expected vote in. Kobach defeated the Democrat 51-49. Kobach has long been viewed as a hardline figure on immigration and voting laws. Yes, we're getting the far right vibes over here. As a state attorney general, Kobach will have the power to prosecute voter fraud and enforce other election laws. Yeah. He had previously lost a 2018 bid to serve as Kansas governor and a 2020 primary bid to serve in the U.S. Senate. From 2011 to 2019, Kobach was Kansas Secretary of State, and from 2007 to 2009 served as a chairman of the state's Republican Party. Kobach was also involved in the Texas lawsuit that asked the Supreme Court to intervene in the results of the 2020 election. He told the AP in October there was no question voter fraud occurred in 2020 and that Americans will never know how many fraudulent ballots were cast. We actually do. It's something to the effect of like 0.001% or whatever. It's something so negligible. And usually those people are caught and those are felonies. And 0.00 or 0.01 whatever percent is not going to change the outcome of the elections. And furthermore, saying so strongly that there's no question of voter fraud. Yeah, no shit. Voter fraud happens in every election, dude. Every election. Voter fraud can also include felons who voted. Yeah, that's right. Like that case in Florida. Where Ron DeSantis tried to tout that as some kind of win. when in reality, those rules weren't very well explained. And some of those felons were issued voter IDs, or were issued voter registrations, I should say, giving the impression that they were allowed to vote. So, yeah, it's very small numbers. That's right. Right. Voter fraud. I mean, you could probably count the amount of voter fraud that actually happened. The cases were incredibly small. I mean, like, incredibly small. Not enough to even remotely entertain the idea that an election would be overturned by the minute amount of like 0.01 whatever percent. DeSantis should go to jail for entrapment. I don't know if that's considered entrapment or not. I don't know. Either way, what a freaking asshole. There was a study from a conservative think tank around 15 years ago that was cited a lot, and only found that literally a handful that could be counted on two hands. I'm 100%. 100%. The Martha's Vineyard thing is a whole other case. The proletariat. I'm hoping that the Texas sheriff or whoever that was that announced an investigation, I hope he's serious about that, and gets to the bottom of as to what happened there, legally wise. I mean, obviously the whole thing. I'm playing it fast and loose with the word entrapment, but yeah, like just gross overall. Trump rants on social media about how he's not angry at all. No, I'm not mad. Please. I'm not mad. And remember, I'm a very stable genius. No way. I don't freaking believe this. Hold on, I have to actually look. Now that the midterms are over and a success, this is a success. This is 52 minutes ago. News Corp, which is Fox, the Wall Street Journal, and the no longer great New York Post bring back, I don't know what that means, is all in for Governor DeSanctimonious, an average Republican governor with great public relations who didn't have to close up his state, but did, unlike Republican governors whose overall number for a Republican... this is just mumbo jumbo. So he's just taking pot shots at Ron DeSanctimonious. Basically saying, I made you, Ron DeSanctimonious. I made you. More delusions. More delusions about voter fraud. Carrie Lake must win, even though she's super down. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, here we go. For those many people who are being fed the fake narrative from the corrupt media that I'm angry about the midterms, don't believe it, I'm not at all cranky. No, I'm not mad, folks. I'm not mad. I'm just gonna go on a social media rampage and rantings of a delusional person. Cole Allen was the editor of the New York Post, who is being sued for sexual harassment. Oh, that's the kind of person that Trump likes. Yeah, it makes total sense. That's the person that Trump wants to be back. Yeah, I think human trafficking. There you go. He literally did the meme again. Yeah, I'm not rip. I like the Emma Viglin's ripoff Ron. I am the most... Sorry. Excuse me. I am the most not mad person ever. Also, a really stable genius, remember? Remember? You remember? Stable and genius, remember that? That's me. For those many people, remember, I'm not mad. 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 I'm very not mad. Also, I'm a very stable genius. That's what this post reads. No, block this. Oh man. Yeah, not mad. Not mad at all. Just, continuing to rant and ramble. Literally. Incessantly. Look at this. This is all within the hour, folks, by the way. This is all within the hours. Okay. All these are just like rantings about the election that he lost, and how he made Ron DeSantis, and it's because of him, Ron DeSantis is where he was at, which to a degree is true. And Big Mad. Big Mad. That right-wing media is currently, at this moment, turning against him. But not mad. But remember, he's not mad. Anyways. The amount of copium that's going on here shouldn't be humanly possible. The amount of copium shouldn't be humanly possible, but yeah, that is that's a perfect time to bust out the popcorn and just watch the right wing just kind of devolve. It's good. It's a good thing. He told the Associated Press there was no question. Yes, we went over this. Yes, voter fraud happens. Yeah. As a vice chair of Trump's election commission, he was charged with investigating claims of voter fraud in the 2016 election. The panel found no major evidence of voter fraud, and the committee was dissolved in 2018. Yeah. This is what's wild about this. So this guy was in charge, was a vice chair, and the whole entire election commission. Because even though he won the 2016 election, he insisted that there was millions and millions of votes that he should have won by an even bigger margin. And they investigated and really did not find anything remotely close to what he was talking about. So much so that 2 years, that it had to be dissolved. So like this guy knows, right? This guy knows how this goes. The fact that he's out there peddling like election fraud, the big lie or whatever, the fact that he's peddling this bullshit is just like indicative that, well, he's doing it on purpose. He's doing it on purpose. It's not because he is ignorant. And that's what makes these people dangerous. They're not just clowns, folks. They're not just clowns. Can we just spend $2 billion on a Truman Show bubble and stick Trump in it to live out the rest of his life, like away from the rest of society? Oh man, just make it $2 billion of his money, all right? We'll do like a one-time Trump tax. A one-time Trump tax to build this world for him. He wouldn't notice. No, I don't think he would. I would subscribe to that stream to watch that. Kobach had also been a major proponent of voter ID and other election restrictions. Kobach unsuccessfully defended in court a state voter registration law that required people to provide documents such as birth certificates or passports at motor vehicle offices to register to vote. At the time, he argued that the law prevented 1,000 to 18,000 non-citizens from casting ballots. Yeah, okay. Just because you can attempt to cast a ballot doesn't mean it's going to get counted, and you won't, and doesn't mean that you won't get caught. Okay, if you try to do something silly like cast a ballot when you're not supposed to cast a ballot, you will be caught, my friends. So this idea that we need some type of like laws to solve a problem that doesn't exist raises red flags. And the immediate question that should follow is like, wait, where is the evidence that this is all happening? And furthermore, will this actually even stop? Will this actually even fix the problem? So first, you have to show us proof that the problem actually exists, which it doesn't. Because then, if you can't even prove to me that, then I question, why are you doing this? To which the obvious answer is to get as little people to get as little people to vote as possible. That's the idea. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the proof is the way I feel about it. True. Because if I feel like this is happening, it just automatically manifests itself into reality. That's how that works. True. I didn't think about that. True, the little proletariat. Oh man, just give them a good old Ace Ventura dart or 6 and then just move them like they did to the whales in the aquarium. True. That's too funny. The law was struck down as an attorney general candidate. He said he would support efforts to ban ballot drop boxes in Kansas. Anything to get as little votes out there as possible. Meanwhile, Kansas voters re-elected Democratic Governor Laura Kelly to second term. She was the only Democratic governor running for re-election in a state won by Donald Trump in 2020. LP is so much easier. True. Her win keeps a Democrat in the top job in ruby red Kansas for another 4 years, which is wild. But yeah. If people feel like there is more crime, then we have to increase police policies against crime to make them feel better. True, that's exactly that's exactly how that works. Correct. Never mind like the actual data. Never mind like actually even if you want to talk about like dealing with crime, like never mind taking a look at the root of crime, most of which is socioeconomic. Never mind taking care of those. We just need, you know, more police and stuff like that. That's true. Yeah, obviously, like, and you could tell by the way the midterms went that like this whole crime thing didn't really manifest itself into results, because like it's bullshit. It's bullshit and people didn't buy it. The way to get rid of crime is to stop giving money and weapons to Ukraine. That has nothing to do with what the actual sources of crime are. Hey, isn't that the clown that was in the other channel? That's right. They're Pennywise. Wasn't this the clown that was in the Becca Spheres chat? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're the clown that showed up in the Becca Spheres chat. Howdy. See, now you're in my house. You don't remember who that is? In 42 plus channels. Trust me. I'm well aware. And I remember all the clowns that come through. Yeah, they're trolling too much. They've too much trolling. They don't even remember. But yeah, they're not just clowns. They're Pennywise. Yep. Exactly. Exactly, Walter. Oh my goodness. Yeah, too much trolling, they don't even remember, but I do, because I'm a mod there. I mostly defend Russia on Twitch, particularly since the, yeah, I know. I told you. I remember you. I keep memory of all the clowns that come through. Trust me. And judging by the 42 plus channels you've been banned on, yeah, I know. Like, to be banned from Riverboat Jack, from Levelhead, some of, like, the most chill and, like, even-handed channels, like Riverboat Jack, like, that tells me everything I need to do, everything I need to know. True! I love that emote. Riverboat Jack is good peeps. I'm just sad I don't get to catch her often enough. Tells me everything I need to know that you would think that tells you everything you need to know. Yeah, good. So that means you can fuck off, right? That means you'll fuck off now. I mean, unless you want to, you know, stay here and give me some more engagement. Does it take a lot of... How do you get to be so cool, right? What do you want to talk about? Nothing, really, not with you. I know who you are, dude. I'll handle them. You keep doing the Lord's work. Yes, sir. I'm going to do a quick refresh on this. Whew. There has not been a single update with this Lauren Boebert, election. This one has me on edge. Thousands of ballots still remain to be counted. We're stopped at 98%. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. I'm not even showing this. 98% stuck. Same amount of votes. It hasn't changed yet. Still? Yeah, still. Yep. Actually, I just realized it's about just over 7 o'clock, and I'm hungry. So I'm going to start getting ready to head out. Is there going to be another runoff with this race? No, I don't think so. Right? Wait, is this would this be another race if she doesn't get 50% of the vote? So isn't it going to go? No, I don't think that's how that works here, right? Either she's going to win or not, right? I think so far the only big race that's going off to a runoff is the Georgia Senate race, right? Because if not, this would be like, oh yeah, this is gonna head into a runoff. Yeah, no, this is not going to this is not going to a runoff. This is winner takes all, I think. Oh, my bad, no problem. I was just for a second there, I was like, what? This is gonna go into a runoff? Then whew, then there's hope. But oh man, yesterday I was so happy. Looking at the numbers and I was so sure that she was going to lose. There might be a recount, that's for sure. There might be like an automatic recount that gets triggered, but I don't think that this is like a runoff thing. I was so happy yesterday because I was very confident that Lauren Boebert was going to lose. Now, not so much. That one is I'm gonna eat my hat on that one. Oh. I'm gonna end up eating my hat on that one. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Who thought the mail-ins in Colorado would help a Republican? Maybe they were cheating. That's what it is. They cheated with these mail-in ballots. That's the story I'm sticking to. All right, folks. It is about to be 7:30. I gotta get going. Folks, if you enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button on your way out. Don't forget to hit your, oh, Lord. Oh, hold on. I got to respond to this. I don't like the Republican Party, but the Democrats are getting so bad that they're leading us straight into nuclear war. They're not. And the Republicans are slightly less bad right now. Yeah, dude. Totally. I totally understand you being a Russian defender as to why you think, like, you know, a more fascistic government, a more fascistic party is less bad. I know that's why you think that. I mean, I know that you as a Russian supporter, looking at the Republican Party and going, yeah, that's the less bad. Love you lots and enjoy dinner. Thank you. Democrats are more fascistic. True. Damn, dude. I mean, words just don't mean things anymore. Yeah, dude, NATO's the truest expression of fascism in the world today. True. Because when I think of fascism, I think of NATO. That's definitely the definition of fascism. Totally, completely disregarding like the word and what it means and the ideology behind it and whatnot. Yeah, dude. Totally right, bro. Yeah, dude. True. Yes, Russia, the autocratic state, the autocratic state led by a far right autocrat. Yeah, dude. Led by a nationalistic autocrat. Sure, dude. Cool, dude. Ah, yes, liberalism. Also the same thing as fascism because words don't mean anything to you. Yeah, dude. You seem way better and enjoyed dinner. Oh yeah, I'm feeling much better. NATO is militarism in reservation. Wait, you just said NATO is fascism. You just said NATO is the truest expression of fascism. Cool, dude. You totally know what words mean. This is amazing. This is truly good shit. Thank you. Yeah. Truly giving Trump a run for his money with this stable genius take. Yeah. The Western left is so unbelievably confused. Not as confused as you, my friend. Clearly, you don't know the definition of words. You have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. Thanks, dude. Absolute clown. Absolute clown. Anyways. Oh, man. I knew it. Words. You do not understand basic political concept. Apparently, neither do you, though. Neither do you. Apparently, liberalism, capitalism, fascism, all these things, militarism and preservation of all these things just, mean all the same way. NATO is completely the continuation of Nazi Germany. So this is all making complete historical sense. NATO shit, though, created with little Nazi generals. Never mind what you feel like about NATO and whatnot. What this person is saying is completely off the rails. What M93,000, whatever the heck, is completely off the rails. Never mind my actual opinions on what's going on here. It's just this is completely off the rails. It's actually a disservice to the real fascism that's on the rise and getting way too comfortable in the mainstream. People like you, M9300, people like you give cover to fascism. People like you are what, yes, an enabler. Thank you. That's a better word. Yeah, dude. When I think of fascism, I just think of NATO. That's true. Stuff that stands up to this is not fascist. Yeah, dude. Yeah, your warped view of the world, totally correct, dude. You keep believing that. And you keep running cover for actual fascism. Russia is actually good because they imperialism. Yeah, but they do the right imperialism, you see? Fash on fash violence. I'm very proud to enable the people you call fascists according to your stupid analysis. Yeah, no, I know. You're very pro-fascist. Yes, you're very pro-fascist. You're very pro-authoritarian. Yes. I know you're very proud of it, as you just told us that you would actually prefer, and you actually think that the Republican Party is less harmful than the Democratic Party. Clearly, you've put your cards on the table for us to see. Up is down and down is up in your world. Trust me, I know. You were the one who brought up fascism? Really? Really? So, who wrote the words? Who wrote the words fascism first? In chat. You know I can see the history of chat, right? Yeah, you're very anti-fascist. That's why you would like a fascistic party. That's why you prefer a fascistic party over a just a neo-lib party, right? That's why you're so anti-fascist. You're so anti-fascist that you would prefer a fascistic party over some just neo-lib, neo-lib party. Yeah, dude, totally. Yeah, dude, that's, when I think of anti-fascism, I think of siding with the party closer to fascist. True, dude. Yeah, true, dude. True. Yeah, dude, they're basically the same. Yeah, dude, true, bro. True, bro. You know what? Yeah, dude, true. You keep believing that. But you know where you can believe that? In your own little space, all by yourself. How about that? What type of lefty? A Twitter leftist. Yeah, I'm a Twitter leftist. Oh, unless you mean the clown that was just in chat. They're not a leftist. They're not a leftist. Both parties have neoliberal economics and neoconservative foreign policy. Yeah, well, yeah, you can criticize the Democrats' foreign policy. Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. It's just like what I'm pushing back on is this idea that the Republicans and the Democrats are basically the same thing. Like, no, it's not. Yes, both parties have problems with corruption. Yes, both parties enable capitalism. Yes, but there are important differences that I think we should probably take into consideration. Do you want guns banned? Not really. I would like to see gun control. I would like to see laws put in place that actually make sense and address the issues at hand. But I don't think that I'm in favor of banning guns. I don't think I've ever said that. Edgar Signs, thank you for the follow. Yeah, one of them's literally bonking trans people, and if we're doing math, and it's less than 13. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we've got one party consistently going after. Yeah, dude, totally. Again, is it like a is English like a hard? Is English not your like first language, or what? Is it hard? Is what I'm saying very difficult to communicate today? Yes. I want sensible gun control equals, yeah, you want guns banned. Bye. Okay, dude. Fuck off. Because these two things mean the exact same thing. It's like the words come in one ear and they leave out the other. Jesus Christ. Anyways. Right at the end, too. Right at the end, too. You know, that's when these trolls decide to show up. That's okay. I love it. All right. I love it. I can take it. Anyways, those were some good memes at the end there. Those were some good memes at the end there. Fascism, being anti-fascist is when I support the most fascistic party. Makes total sense. Wanting common sense gun control is the same thing as just me wanting to Thanos snap guns off the the same thing. It's like people don't listen to what I'm saying. We really need a proper Labor Party. That's true. That's 100% true. That's true. We do need a proper Labor Party that actually cares about the working class. While there are certain Democratic actors within the party that care, it's just like, yeah, it would be in an ideal world, the simulacra, in an ideal world, in an ideal scenario, I would like to see a actual left-wing party going toe-to-toe against like the Democratic Party. That's where that's the ideal scenario that I would like to see. I would like to be just like dealing with like, the Democratic Party versus like an actual left-wing party. That's a cool scenario that I would like to see. In an ideal world, we've abolished the value form and there's no classes, states, or money. True. Dems are more fashion, Republicans not. Excuse me, white culture. Yeah. It's like this is type. This is the kind of logic that that clown M93000 was deploying. You missed the I missed the end. Yeah, they did. Some couple of clowns decided to join us towards the end there. A couple of clowns decided to join us at the end there, but that's okay. We know how to deal with them. Yeah, you're right, the simulacra. In an ideal world, we wouldn't be dealing with any of this nonsense. Hopefully fascism will just cycle out and we can go up against the Dems. Yeah, like, I'm just speaking, like, in the immediate terms of, like, electoralism. I'm still in electoralism brain right now. But, yes, in an ideal world, we wouldn't have to worry about any of this stuff. But, you know, that's just a hypothetical that we try to live up to and move towards with whatever tools we got at the time. All right, folks. For real this time. I had to get going. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the follows. Thank you to the little proletariat for the raid. Make me dab. All right, I got you. Hold on. There we go. Redmond Berry. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Make sure you hit the follow button on your way out if you enjoyed the content. Make sure you join on the Discord. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTubes and all that awesome stuff. I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. You guys are what makes this channel grow. I appreciate that, LP. Thank you guys. We'll be back Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Held it for a minute, too. True. See ya. Give you an extra dab on the way out. Alright, folks, we're heading on over to $27 a stream. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.